the best in the world.
What I'd like to have right now.
Yes! Yes! Yes!
Because I was right when I was cool.
Are you ready?
It doesn't matter!
I said, are you ready?
I'm a sexy beast, baby! I was up all night!
And I'm for life.
Welcome everybody to the For Life podcast. This is the Festival of Pettiness. I'm your host Elvis Petty alongside
Petty Roger.
There we go. How's it going? How's it going, Cheyenne?
Wonderful. Mr. 300 did not turn into Mr. Bowling yesterday, but
So you didn't bowl you didn't bowl the 300?
I didn't bowl a 300. I bowled.
At least you won 300, so
I did. That's true. So I'm still better at it. Lots of WrestleMania news to cover this week in wrestling. First of all, I'm being extremely rude. How are you doing? How was your weekend? Because unfortunately, you had to miss the festivities.
Yeah, my weekend has been pretty relaxing. It's consisted of a lot of just binging on Golden Girls. It's now on Hulu. I know
Okay.
Jamal Jackson's gonna pop for that one and catching up on.
I'm ecstatic. I'm darnly not too ecstatic.
Yeah, so and trying to catch up on all the Oscar contenders for work, and yeah, that's about it. Nothing too exciting this weekend.
Is No Holds Barred nominated this year finally?
No Holds Barred? No, but there was a great podcast this week by Bruce Pritchard, a bonus episode on Zeus and No Holds Barred.
That was a nice segue.
Yeah.
That was a nice segue. All right, let's talk some wrestling because it was a pretty eventful week with Monday Night Raw being the show to steal all the publicity.
Mm-hmm.
Should I run through the whole thing like I normally do, or just hit the highlights?
I mean, I guess we can just hit the highlights, the Hulu edition.
Well, yeah, let's do the Hulu version of Raw. Finally, after months and months and months of build-up, we saw not the end goal, but the inevitable split-up of Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho. And this culminated at the Festivus of Friendship, which was this big, over-the-top Las Vegas presentation by Chris Jericho to Kevin Owens, which Kevin Owens wanted no part of, but the seeds were planted beforehand because segments before this occurred, Triple H pulled up in the arena with Samoa Joe.
Yeah.
Samoa Joe conducted a sit-down interview with Michael Cole while Chris Jericho was getting ready for the Festivus of Friendship. Kevin Owens was having a conversation with Triple H. So there's clearly some seeds there planted.
Yeah.
Then the event, Jericho comes out, cuts his huge promo, lights go out, boom, pyro, Vegas stars. There were showgirls. Jericho has this big Barry Manilow blazer on, a hat.
Which I want to wear for my next birthday.
I encourage it, and I will look less disgruntled than Kevin Owens. He finally introduces Kevin Owens, who comes out miserable, not wanting any of it. Okay?
Yeah.
Brings out a magician who is absolutely horrible. The worst magician I've ever seen. I pulled more out of my ass for picking up topics for the show. Gets in there. Jericho has a litany of gifts, which include Bosch. Go ahead.
What was it, it was a statue by Ralph Guggenheim?
Yes, the statue by Ralph Guggenheim.
Yeah. Then there was the creation of Kevin?
The creation Kevin.
Which was amazing.
Amazing.
Definitely. And which led to Kevin having a gift for Jericho.
Right.
Which was the list of KO with Jericho's name on it before attacking him.
Yeah.
But
and the crowd was into it. The crowd was pretty devastated.
It was great. I was into it as well. I thought it was one of the better segments they've done in a long time. And just the range that Jericho was able to show from comedy to just being a corny heel to then where he got serious and got emotional with Kevin, telling him that this was probably one of the best years of his career and how happy he was to team with him. So
Yeah.
like right before,
Which was cool.
So it was like it was right before it happened. You got that real moment and the sympathy and like you got that awe moment right before everything went down, which I thought was great. And I thought the reveal of the list was well done. I mean, all around it was a really good segment, and it really, probably for the first time since maybe his debut in NXT where he turned on Sami Zayn, it was probably the first time Owens had legit heel heat.
Yeah.
And people weren't cheering him and just to cheer him because they like him. They were actually booing him for what he did, which was the reaction that we wanted. You know, we didn't want him to be cheered after what he did.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you also find it ironic that Shawn put Marty through glass, Jericho put Shawn through the screen, and now Kevin Owens did it to Jericho.
Yeah. When you put that photo up, I was like, interesting.
Yeah,
Very much caught me off guard when I saw it.
So in about a decade, somebody's gonna throw Kevin Owens through a glass.
Yep, and it won't be Sami Zayn.
It'll be his son.
Also, Jonathan Zayn. Another highlight was Braun Strowman, as far as I'm concerned, getting an extremely notable victory over Mark Henry, who is becoming more and more of an icon in WWE as he continues to appear. Henry did a wonderful job of having a match with Strowman that gave both competitors credibility. I think everybody was shocked that Strowman put Henry away, at least with a fight, rather.
Yeah.
And I thought it was a great match for both of them, for Henry to get TV time, for Strowman to get the rub from one of the more prominent big men.
And this week it'll be him and Big Show.
Probably.
No, they announced it.
Oh, they did? Oh, I didn't know that. Thank you.
Yeah, so it'll be him and Big Show.
Then there was Sami Zayn was in a matchup against Rusev, which he won. And then he basically criticized and called out Samoa Joe, which then led to Samoa Joe ambushing Sami Zayn.
Well, because Joe made comments about Sami during his sit-down interview.
Correct. That was the backstory to it. Are we looking at Fastlane or WrestleMania? What do you think of that?
Fastlane. I think this was the emergency. We need to put Samoa Joe in a match because Seth is hurt.
Right.
So this was like they just pulled the emergency lever and threw Sami Zayn in there as far as the only other babyface sympathetic that they know they'll get a good match out of. Yeah. And I think it works out because Joe can go over in this one. Rather than if he was facing Seth on his way to Hunter, Seth would have had to go over.
Correct.
So this kind of gives Joe a chance. Yeah, so from what I'm hearing, Seth should be good to go for Mania, so I guess just keeping him away for now and throwing
that was the story that
and throwing Sami in there
for Mania.
Yeah, so
but there is talk of a tag team match to protect him.
Well, yeah, I'm thinking they could do the tag team if he's not ready to take on a one-on-one match with Triple H. And I mean, all four are great competitors, so I don't think it would be a terrible match. It would probably be a really good match.
It wouldn't be a bad match, but it's weird for.
But you're not. It's not what you want to see at Mania. That's like a build up to. That's a Fastlane match, a build up to Mania, you know. Or a Raw after Mania match where you're putting the two matches together. Those are two Mania matches that you're putting into one, you know.
Yeah, I mean.
You don't want to see Triple H and Seth in a tag match. You want to see them have their one-on-one.
Right. It's tough.
Their one-on-one match.
And Cena in non-marquee matches.
Oh yeah, like we discussed last week, putting Cena in the mixed tag match kind of puts him in that filler match that you put in between two main event matches.
Correct.
Kind of, you know.
Yeah. No. Trust me.
I mean, they did that at 27, where they had the Snooki match between the Triple H and Taker and the main event.
Yes.
So it kind of like when I think of a mixed tag match, I think of that, you know.
Yeah.
So.
We had all that, and then the highlight of Monday Night Raw was in your main event we had Randy Savage take on Ric Flair. I'm sorry. In the main
Wait, this
event,
wasn't WrestleMania 8?
It wasn't WrestleMania 8, which I made that joke and nobody laughed at. I said, "Oh, this was WrestleMania 8." So now, when Bayley loses, it's going to be in a cage match, and it's going to be because of 3 other women. And now Bayley's going to lose like 4 times to Charlotte, what happened at Uncensored, and nobody got that joke now. I see. Anyway, so Bayley and Charlotte in the main event for Monday Night Raw in a phenomenal match. I'm going to put the question right here on the table. Was it better than Sasha Banks?
I mean, because Charlotte and Sasha had so many good matches, it's tough to judge it on that scale. Plus, their best matches were gimmick matches, so it's also hard to compare the two. But I thought it was a great match. I thought it was better than... I enjoyed it more than the Rumble match.
But was it better than the infamous Sasha Banks match? I'm questioning everyone.
The first time Sasha won the belt?
Yeah, let's go with that one. Was it better than that one?
No, I would say the Sasha one is better.
Okay.
Damn it. Stop making me put her over.
No, that's not what I want to do. I am curious.
You can get your new legit Bosch shirt at redbubble.com.
See, I didn't want to blow the load now.
All right.
You know? No, I think that's a fair question to ask because it is pretty clear that she's going to be
I mean, are we going to get the same thing again where we're going to get the back and forth, Charlotte loses on Raw, wins it at the pay-per-view? Because now it's...
I don't know.
Is it getting to the point now where it's too repetitive now?
Yeah, she's already had it. Is it 6 times?
She's had it 4. Sasha had it 3, and now Bayley is the 4th, ended her 4th reign.
There you go.
So is it like anytime, is it becoming predictable where anytime Charlotte defends on Raw, she loses, but anytime she challenges at a pay-per-view, she wins it?
So did she get the Fastlane rematch yet? Has that been announced?
It hasn't been announced, but I kind of want her to not get it, just so we can drag this out a bit.
Same.
Maybe have a number 1 contender 3-way and have Nia pin Sasha so Charlotte doesn't lose, but Nia wins and gets the title shot, and at least somebody else can win. Bayley can keep the belt and then go to the Fatal 4-way at Mania if that's what the plan is.
Okay.
That's what I would suggest. So, I mean, I just don't want to see it go right back to Charlotte 2 weeks later, and then she...
I just feel like if Charlotte does get it back, it should be a Mania.
Yeah, and then I don't want to see her then lose it at the night after Mania to fucking Asuka or some shit. Like it's becoming too.
Yeah, that's a good point too.
Yeah, like she'll win it at Mania and lose it to Asuka. It's because it's becoming to the point where I think when they had the False Count Anywhere, I thought, oh, they're gonna swerve us and not have Charlotte lose it. And then she lost it. And then I thought again with Bayley, okay, are they gonna swerve us? No, she lost it. So I don't know. It's like if I was Charlotte, then I would just never defend on Raw or just get myself fucking DQ'd or counted out. Or use the 30-day clause.
Yeah, right? Imagine just milk the crap out of it.
Yeah. Like, it's not 30 days yet. Next pay-per-view.
I just feel...
And don't get me wrong, I'm happy for Bayley, but I'm just it's become a pattern where you
and it's also bittersweet because we're talking about how Charlotte's gonna get it right back. The other side of that is, well, guess what? That means that Bayley's reign's gonna be short.
Yeah.
Because in true reality, Sasha's already had it twice, but
3 times.
Her reigns have been short. 3 times or whatever it is. Mm-hmm. Her reigns have been short.
Yeah.
So there's a 2-way street to it also.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought the match was great. I thought the story was cool. I thought it was a little weird that in true reality,
the way she won.
I don't want to say this. I didn't want to say that Bayley won clean, that she won dirty or whatever.
I mean, Charlotte got that crutch straight to the
exactly straight to the throat. Plus,
no, that crutch was straight to the tit.
Exactly. Yeah, it was right to the right sit. Lucky clutch.
And that moonsault scared the shit out of me.
Yeah, seriously, her neck was just crunched.
And Charlotte's a thick girl to land on Bayley like that. I was like, oh.
Yeah. So that caught me off guard, but I didn't think she was gonna win. I thought it was gonna be the swerve.
Yeah.
The swerve.
Mm-hmm.
And then she gets it at Mania in the 4-way because it's tentative to.
Yeah, I don't.
Charlotte.
I don't want to see. I don't want to see.
Right?
Yeah, I don't want to see Charlotte win the belt back to Mania. So find a way to get her out of that match at Fastlane. Do a fucking tag match. Do a multi-woman match.
Yeah, I agree. At Mania, now the situation is, for me as a fan, at Mania it's got to be Charlotte gets it back, Bayley retains, or Nia Jax wins.
And if Charlotte isn't winning it back, don't.
I love how we're totally acting like Sasha Banks has not been a part of anything. That's great.
I mean, in reality, she really hasn't since she lost the belt the last time.
Well, yeah, because she's injured, but she'll probably end up in that
she's
going to be Dana Brooke.
Well, she's injured, and they've programmed her with Nia to keep her out of the title picture. That's why we haven't really mentioned her.
Right.
So, I mean, they'll find a way to get her back in there, but I just feel like if Charlotte's not winning the belt back at Mania, then have her not be the one that's pinned.
Right.
And maybe she'll swerve and win it back the next night on Raw.
Let's hope not. Overall, I thought it was a good Monday Night Raw. Lots of bits and pieces to the road to WrestleMania. Lots of great story angles and hype and build. And I thought everybody that needed to look good looked good. And I thought all the angles got more interesting.
Wait, we forgot the return of Gillberg.
Oh my God! And the return of Gillberg, who got the shit speared out of him.
He looked in pretty good shape. I think he looked better than he did 20 years ago.
When he was light heavyweight champion?
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope to look that good when I'm his age.
I think he was at the Wrestling Universe yesterday.
Yes, he was.
Yeah.
He was. But yeah, he looked good. He hasn't aged a bit, but then again, neither has Goldberg. So.
Yeah.
So yeah, but Raw was great, and Gillberg was the icing on the cake. We're going to talk about SmackDown Live, the lit wrestling show of the week, from what I'm being told. Bosch, take it away.
Okay. It opened with, I'm doing this off memory, I believe it was a Bray Wyatt promo, and we got Cena and AJ, Daniel Bryan. It was originally supposed to be Cena and Bray in the main event, but Bryan made it a 3-way with AJ. And I guess I think it was to set up, or to make you think that AJ was going to take the pin in the match.
Uh-huh.
And he ended up not taking the pin. As far as what else happened, there was Ambrose was supposed to face Ellsworth, but Corbin attacked him before the match and kind of dragged him out from backstage and kicked his ass and threw him off the stage, threw him into all the sound shit in the back. Then there was Mickie James defeated Becky Lynch. So we're going 50-50 booking on that one. Apparently, Naomi was injured during her match, and now Alexa challenged her for a rematch for next week's SmackDown.
Okay.
Also, Nikki and Natty are going to have the Falls Count Anywhere match.
Which I'm excited for.
Yeah, which I pretty much predicted last week.
Yes, you did.
And what else? After Bray Wyatt defeated John Cena and AJ, Randy Orton came out and surrendered his title shot. As long as Bray's champion, he's not going to challenge Bray for the belt at Mania, supposedly.
Yeah.
So Bryan announced that there would be a battle royal next week for number one contender. Yeah. I mean,
Luke Harper is going
what it's looking like is Luke Harper's going to win, and it'll be a triple threat. Or maybe when Luke Harper wins, Wyatt convinces Orton to get back into the match,
to protect him, quote unquote.
Protect them. So I mean, we'll see. We'll see how that goes. It's an interesting storyline.
Yeah, no, I'm into that one.
Yeah,
I'm into that one. And SmackDown, not for nothing, is sounding pretty interesting so far.
Yeah.
let's talk a little bit of dirt before we get into our first commercial break. Not much good wrestling news going around this week, but let's talk about the following. That being,
Kelly.
Out. Are you ready?
Kelly.
Kelly was backstage at Monday Night Raw, even doing the one of those Raw rebound videos.
Yeah, she said she would be at Access.
She said she would be doing a signing at Access, lucky people, and that she wouldn't rule out a possible
Return.
WWE return. I thought that was pretty interesting. Your thoughts, questions, comments, concerns?
I mean, is she going to get the Eva treatment if she comes back, or people are going to shit on her for not being a good worker or a wrestler?
I don't think she's going to get shitty treatment, to be honest with you.
I mean, I don't recall her being terrible, but I don't recall her being at least
no.
In
But
ring.
she was. Let me tell you, when Kelly was on top, she was
over.
Yeah, she was over as fuck.
Yeah, but this was also before. This was still during the Divas phase before all the women's revolution.
Correct. This was before the Athletic Diva. I know.
Exactly.
I know.
If Eva Marie came around during that era 5 years earlier, she would have been the number one girl in the company.
Yes.
But since she can't wrestle, nobody likes her.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't mind. Well, what were you gonna
I would like it.
Yeah.
I would like it. And I think she would bring a different element there now that she's in a different.
I mean, maybe they can go with what they were. I mean, oh yeah, we also forgot the debut of Emelina.
Oh, that's true.
I mean, after 17 weeks, she came out and said, "This is the transformation back to Emma." So, pretty much, from what they're reporting, is that the character wasn't working, so they just decided to drop it.
Right, but I also heard they're going to switch her back.
Yeah, so they're going to switch her back, so maybe Kelly can take that role that Emelina was supposed to be cast in.
That's a fair theory.
As far as the hot chick, the hot blonde supermodel, I think Kelly might fit that role a lot better than Emma could.
That's yeah.
Like if that's what you want to go with. Yeah, because if you're gonna bring her in to be a wrestler, that's not gonna work. So if you bring her in with that character, a similar character to what they were looking for with Emelina. That could work. I mean, she's still young, because remember, she started at like 18, 19, because she's a little younger than I am. So
Kelly was there at 18.
Yeah. So, which would make her, I think she's a little younger than me, so she just turned 30.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, she's still young, so.
Yeah, ooh. She just turned 30. I feel like she's still young. Well, hearing her age makes me feel old.
Yeah.
I saw that whole day. I remember when, because not for nothing, let's give it to her. She got over, and she got a lot of shit when she came in.
Yeah. But she got over right away, yeah.
She got over right away, but when she came in, she got a lot of shit because she was super young.
She was dating Tess at the time.
She was super young. She was dating Tess, and, she really wasn't, at that time, for hardcore wrestling fans, she's one of the first models that they hired.
Yeah, and they brought her into ECW, so you're throwing her in there with, on a show that people are expecting to see a certain kind of wrestling and. Correct. And
not to mention another reason she got some heat from wrestling fans. I don't think the guys in the back really cared, even though they cared about other things that she was doing, but whatever. She got a lot of heat also because Vince liked her.
Because Vince liked her?
Yeah, Vince was always really into her, and Vince apparently, this is what Kelly said in one of the first shoot interviews she ever did after her release or whatever. Vince
was she released or did she leave?
I believe she leaves. She leaves. I believe she left. I'm very embarrassed. Vince apparently showed her
his
how
dick?
to do the dance.
Oh.
No, stop it. Possibly. Vince apparently, you're so dirty. Vince apparently liked the whole striptease dance or whatever.
Uh-huh.
Vince like walked her through it move for move. So she basically imitated Vince.
Yeah. I mean, there was also
same way-
the Extreme Expose.
There was the Extreme Expose, which I still to this day wish they brought back. But,
Which was
yeah,
her,
there was
Layla, and Brooke Tessmacher.
Brooke Tessmacher, who left WWE
Yeah.
and became a star, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. And I think she's back in TNA again.
Yeah, she had.
I know her. I think her and Angelina came back when Jarrett came back.
Yes, but she had the kid.
Yeah, because she just had
and
the
then
baby
she
not
went
too long
back.
ago. Yeah.
Yeah, correct. She had the kid, and then she went back.
Yeah.
So yeah, but yeah, Kelly, I always like seeing her.
Yeah.
You know, that's just me. It was cool seeing that she was backstage.
Because I know she's on that show Wags.
Wags,
that's
wives
kind of-
and girlfriends of something, right?
Of like sports stars. Because she's married to like a hockey player.
I don't know what real sports are, so I don't understand what the S stands for.
But yeah, because I guess they would air it right after Total Divas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I hear it gets
I've never
good
seen it.
Reviews.
Yeah.
No, I've never seen it either. I just hear that it does good in ratings.
Yeah. I only watch Total Divas and Total Bellas.
Yeah, the only reality show I'm watching is Flip or Flop. And I'm waiting for Christina to realize that she should be in it. Yeah. Probably not very creepy right now. So yeah. Blah 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 blah. Kelly. SmackDown. Okay. We also found out in more dirt, Theodore Arlong is going into a Hall of Fame. It was leaked in the morning, and then they made the official video package, which I thought was very good.
Yeah.
I was very, very happy that it showcased his entire career.
Well, it didn't just focus on his WWE run.
Correct. Even though I thought it could have showed more of like the refereeing.
Yeah.
Because that, Teddy is all over those NWA shows.
Oh yeah, just even the ones that I've been watching, he's all over those, and then he went on to become a manager, and then kind of followed a similar path in WWE where he came in as a ref, then became a manager.
Correct. He was a manager and a handler, and first he started carrying the jackets and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then he became a referee and all those things, and then he used to ride with Kevin Sullivan in the cars.
Yeah.
And in college, he used to be a radio DJ.
Okay, I can see that.
So he would on the rides with Kevin Sullivan, he would do the radio DJing. So in between the songs, he would do his the DJ stick. So Sullivan was like, "You got to be a manager. You're too good." And that's how he got into the managing thing. And he got to manage some pretty great talent, including most notably the two teams, most notably that he managed, the Skyscrapers
and Doom.
The Skyscrapers, if I'm not mistaken, did he manage both versions or one?
I'm not up to the version with Taker yet, but he is managing. He was managing Sid and Spivey.
Say again.
He was managing Sid and Spivey.
I'm not
up to Taker and Spivey.
He was managing Sid and Spivey at one point. And then, of course, the later incarnation of the Skyscrapers was Taker and Spivey after Sid punctured along, whatever it was. Then, of course, Doom. Ron Simmons and Butch Reed. That team started off as Woman and Nitron presents Doom.
Yeah.
And that kind of phased out, and then they got Teddy Long.
Well, I just finished the Starrcade with 89.
Future Shock, one of my favorite ones.
The one that had the two round robins, the tag team and the singles. Yeah.
One of my favorite Starrcades ever.
It was a fun one.
It's fun.
Different.
The tag matches sucked, but it was fun.
Yeah.
Because they were the shits. there was that. Teddy then, of course, was managed pretty much anybody they threw at him.
Fire and Ice.
Fire and Ice. He managed
Jim Powers.
Too Cold Scorpio, and Marcus Alexander Bagwell. He managed Jim Powers. He managed Alex Wright for a little bit.
Yeah, because I'm watching when I'm up to, for Sullivan's podcast, I'm up to the 97 Nitros, where he's just randomly managing jobbers.
Popping up.
Yeah. Yeah, he'll be managing Jim Powers or fucking Joe Gomez or whoever, whatever.
I remember
babyface.
Jim Powers more than I do Joe Gomez.
I don't know if he did manage Joe Gomez. I'm just throwing names out there, but Jim Powers he was managing for a while. It still is. But.
Yeah, because on all those early NWO Nitros, I was always as a kid wondering why is Teddy Long with Jim Powers.
Yeah.
So there was that, but then Teddy Long returned back to the WWE as a referee, and believe it or not, Vince McMahon had no idea that he used to manage.
Oh, okay. I'm not surprised.
Vince had no idea that he used to manage. Vince had no idea that he could talk. None of that shit. And I don't remember exactly how Vince found out, but Vince was like, "Oh my God, you've been under my nose this whole time. You've been right here in front of me." And that's how he went out there. And one of the things.
Who did they put him with first? Was it Rodney Mack that they put him with first?
When he was managing, yes, if I'm not mistaken, the first one was the whole Rodney Mack, Jazz. Mark Henry gimmick.
Yeah.
And then, sooner rather than later, after the whole Kurt Angle, GM angle went away, he became the SmackDown general manager.
And he held that one down for years.
And he held that down for years because Raw was always the revolving door, which we've said on this podcast many times. I've said this exact same line. Raw was always a revolving door of authority.
Yeah.
But Teddy was always there, and I think Teddy just always did what he was told.
Yeah.
I think Teddy always, tried to do the best he could with whatever Vince gave him, and if Vince told him to do this, he did it.
Remember the wedding to Crystal when he had the heart attack?
The wedding with Crystal, and then of course.
Well, I mean, the highlight was that Bruce was the fucking the priest for the wedding.
Yes, and then of course, if you watch SmackDown from 2007 to 2013 or 14 even.
There was a tag team match, player.
Was going to be a tag team match, player.
Holla, holla, holla.
Holla, holla, holla. So it was great. So I'm glad that the Hall of Fame is going to be thugging and bugging with one of the absolute most underrated talents all around in wrestling, like Teddy Long. So that's awesome. With that, I think we should take a commercial break.
All right, sounds good.
I think it's a great segue.
Yeah.
You know it's the Mac Militant. Coming to get it on. Get out of my way. I'm coming to thunder and lightning and striking. I'm inviting you all to the storm. Feel the pain that I'm
Hey, For Lifers, this is Bosch, and I'm just letting you guys know that we are now on patreon.com/4lifepodcast. We have the site there just to help us keep costs effective for the podcast, help pay for the show and the website. So it's small donations, $1, $3, and $5. We'll give you a shout out on the show. I'll have Cheyenne sing for you. He doesn't know yet, but he will know. Or I'll send my Bosch pick of the week, which is an exclusive wrestling video documentary event shoot interview that isn't available on the WWE Network. So just check it out at www.forlifepodcast.com/Patreon. Because when you're listening to your podcast, you're listening to it for life.
Hey, For Life listeners, this is The Cap here with Mike the Finance Guy and Ralph the Tech, inviting you to check out our Geektastic podcast, Meanwhile 22 Pages Later.
So if you're a Whovian, a lover of capes and tights, a gamer, or a TV movie watcher, and you want some very honest reviews from some very funny guys,
check out our podcast. It's on iTunes and also on SoundCloud. And if you want to join in the discussion, check out our Facebook page. Oh, and by the way, that 22 is the number. Now, back to Bosch and Cheyenne.
Welcome back to the For Life podcast. Of course, talking wrestling, talking WrestleMania, talking all these things. But unfortunately, some wrestling icons were taken away from us this week. Deaths, as we've been told many times in life, and as we've actually said on this show about wrestling, come in threes. This time, unfortunately, it came in four, and it came with four wrestling icons. All made their impact in their own way. Some bigger than others. I don't mean that disparagingly, but some of the things.
Well, I mean, you can't compare Nicole Bass's short run to the other three legends.
No, yeah, I'm just trying to be as political as possible.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah.
I don't want anything to be misinterpreted, unfortunately. But
no. I mean, it's no disrespect to Nicole Bass. It's just you can't sit there and
you can't compare her to the other
compare her to the other three legacies that were decades long, where she was around for years, maybe a bit in ECW and a bit in WWE. I mean, she's more known for her stuff with Howard Stern.
First off, the one that died most recently, Ivan Koloff, known as the Russian Bear, one of those guys that been everywhere, did everything, seen everything.
Yeah.
Ivan Koloff was the man to end the title reign of Bruno Sammartino at Madison Square Garden. It is revolved as the title change heard around the world, or as the pin drop, meaning that basically what happened was when Ivan Koloff beat Bruno Sammartino clean in Madison Square Garden, the entire arena went silent.
Yeah.
Every and anyone, George Napolitano, Bill Apter, Koloff, Sammartino, everyone that was there has unanimously said the entire building was in awe.
I can imagine when, as over as Bruno was, and to have an 8-year title reign, and then this is finally it's over.
And
I guess you can kind of compare it modern day to Taker's streak being broken.
Correct.
Which you were there. I mean, you were there for the streak ending. Would you say it was similar, where it was just quiet?
It was similar, but you also got to think I was in a huge arena.
Yeah, you were in a stadium.
But it was similar. That's as close as I'm going to get. Also,
well, as far as something that was going for so long that ended.
Right. And remember, like, how America was that time. Like, Bruno Sammartino, this big top babyface Italian, lost to a Russian.
Yeah.
There's that, too. Because the country itself was divided. And, of course, being there for the streak, that's as close as I'm ever going to get to that same feeling. Ivan Koloff also kind of had a second life when he went on to, because I'm just trying to do the highlights. He's a big name in the territory. He even did independent wrestling. But also had a second life when he went back to the NWA and had a tag team with, at that time, one of the hottest rookies of the year, Nikita Koloff.
Yeah.
And was the mentor to Nikita and was one of the key factors to how Nikita Koloff became a household name in the 1980s.
Yeah.
Their feud with the Road Warriors and other tag teams and the eventual split between Nikita and Ivan, which then brought in Crusher Kushevik, a.k.a. Barry Darso, was a mainstay feud of the NWAs in the late 1980s. Would you agree?
Definitely.
So Ivan Koloff, one of the nicest guys in wrestling. Bosch had the pleasure of meeting him late last year.
Yeah.
You said on the show, one of the sweetest guys you ever met.
Yeah, really nice. Like I said, I felt bad even making him stand up to take the picture because he was on crutches. I know when I was...
Well, he got up on his own. Like, let's not make it seem like Bosch was like, no. Koloff, could you get up off your fucking seat?
Yeah.
It wasn't like that.
Yeah, I was... And then when we were looking at the Razor Ramon plaque, he walked behind me, and I guess he was... I don't know if he was talking about another group of fans. He was like, stupid idiots. Which I thought was great. But yeah, really nice guy. I mean, obviously he was before our time, but I have seen a lot of his stuff when going back to watch all the NWA stuff and the Russians working with the Rock and Roll Express.
Yeah.
Prior to Nikita splitting from the group, but just a lot of good stuff, and just obviously they saw something in him to be the guy to end Bruno's reign.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Next up was a person who actually passed away last week, and we didn't get to talk about him too much. Chavo Guerrero Sr., a.k.a. Chavo Classic for modern-day fans. Bosch, go ahead.
I mean, even like back in the day, he was a big deal in Mexico and in California.
Yeah.
Famous feud with Roddy Piper.
Absolutely.
With the Guerrero family. I mean, you might have a better history than I do of him, but I know.
No, though that's like the Cliff Notes version, but
Oh, yeah.
Chavo was the brother to Eddie Guerrero, of a cornerstone of the legendary Guerrero dynasty, which included of the elders, Hector, Chavo, and Mondo.
Yeah.
And of course, Gory Guerrero. They were all icons in NWA Hollywood and the California territories. Huge feud with Roddy Piper, and they were all household names. Huge feuds with the likes of Pat Patterson and Ray Stevens, and other California and Bay Area wrestling legends. Fun fact: Lanny Poffo was actually supposed to go to California, and Angelo blocked it, but he was supposed to be next in line to feud with the Guerreros.
Okay.
Huge in the California area. In Mexico, the Guerreros, they were royalty. They drew everywhere they went, and they had the privilege of working in every major territory, including having a stint as a unit. It was Mondo, Chavo, and if I'm not mistaken, Hector. They went in as a unit to the AWA when the AWA was closing, and they did great business there as well. They were a huge attraction as the three of them in six-man tag team matches.
Yeah.
They did tremendous business in Texas, working for Jose Lothario under his promotions and running their own subsidiary territories and shows down there. And again, their matches in Arena Mexico, and there's not one major Mexican promotion that they did not work for in the 70s, 80s, and early 90s. Chavo Guerrero also had a second life coming into the fray on SmackDown, managing Chavo Jr. and even winning the Cruiserweight title, and
awesome.
That's when he became Chavo Classic, which was a great angle and great to see, and that's how we got introduced to him as this Chavo Classic.
Yeah. And even most recently, doing an angle in Lucha Underground where it was building to Mysterio and Chavo, pretty much like a loser leaves town last Lucha match.
Which is old school.
And then, I mean, there was a few weeks build up where Ray was meeting with Chavo Sr. and trying to talk sense into Chavito, and finally during the match he's in the front row, he comes in, he hits Chavo in the head with a chair to get him disqualified so that Chavo would win, and then surprisingly the heel authority figure restarts the match and Ray wins and Chavo's gone. But it was cool to see him in that angle, at least getting to do something cool like that with his son and with Ray. So that it's cool. I mean, that's the last angle he worked, or the last that we saw of him in wrestling.
Yeah.
So I thought that was a pretty cool way to go out.
Yeah.
But our condolences to the Guerrero family.
Yes, and to the Koloff family,
Koloff.
and now someone who died mid this week, Bob Backlund, was the first person that I saw kind of report on his Facebook that
he was reporting that he was sick. I mean,
well,
I know a while back.
Backlund called and spoke to George Steele's wife this week.
Yeah, so I know he was sick a while ago, and there was a point where he was in the hospital, and he was putting up a lot of statuses, like just praying and pretty much coming to terms that he didn't have much time left. I would say this was about a year ago, maybe a few months ago. So I think he came to terms with the fact that he didn't have much time left, but just another one.
Right.
Sad to see go. Legend in WWE for decades, and I mean he can still come back and eat a turnbuckle and get a huge pop, you know.
Right. Right. This one kind of affected me the most, to say.
Yeah. Of the four, that's probably the one, as WWE fans, that we probably had the closest connection to, even though he was also before our time, but he was one of those legends that was always brought back from time to time and used in angles and matches, or just for the Legends nights, for the pop. So he was the one that we did see growing up and still was brought back every once in a while. And even then, like, we had his match with Macho at Mania 2, which was probably his biggest profile match as far as, like, on TV and stuff, you know?
Yeah, that was probably of his 80s run.
Yeah.
of his '80s run, one of the more prominent things that he did. George Steele is one of the most known wrestlers for the simple fact that he got a college degree.
Yeah, and he was a professor.
He was a professor and also
and even like while he was wrestling, well, yeah, like while he was wrestling, and from what I heard, like students would ask him or tell him that he looked like George Steele, or ask him if he was George Steele, and he would deny it and kind of just play it off like, oh, I get that all the time, and which I think is a cool story. Like,
George was a physical education teacher. He got his degree. His first gimmick was actually called the Student. Believe it or not, his first gimmick was called the Student, and he worked the territories, and all that good stuff. Had notable feuds with Bruno Sammartino and Bob Backlund.
Yeah.
As a heel opposer, if you will, for
their babyface title runs. Opposer,
exactly. For the babyface title run and stuff like that. So he was well known for that. Of course, the eating of the turnbuckles. The story for the turnbuckles was basically for the turnbuckles, one day during a TV taping or whatever the case may be, they wanted him to get mean and he couldn't do it. So for whatever reason, this audience, they were taping other things at the arena, and they were giving away these like stuffed pillows. Because back in the day, or even now, when you go to certain TV shows, they give away like parting gifts. Like back then, they would give away turtle wax and all types of weird shit. So one of the things that they gave away was,
and they don't give away shit now.
Not really. One of the things that they gave away at this taping was pillows, and they were also showing, the wrestling, one or two studios or whatever the case may be. So during this taping, Steele is cutting this promo, and all of a sudden, they start throwing pillows at him. So he caught one of the pillows and ripped it.
Yeah.
Totally ripped it, and the feathers and stuff came out flying, and the whole crowd went hush silent.
Sounds like my 7th grade performance of No Pigeons.
So, what?
My 7th grade performance of No Pigeons.
This story will be told in a moment. So the whole crowd gets like, "Oh my God, he's an animal," and all these things, and that's just kind of how that happened. So that's how that happened. He was known for the Steel Slam, which was the hammerlock body slam, or the hammerlock, back suplex. Also was the other one, the Steel Slam. George, of course, was notable in the '80s for being the animal, and then of course the infamous skit on was that Tuesday Night Titans, where they tried to make him talk normal and stuff.
Not sure.
And then of course a few with Randy Macho Man Savage in the early Saturday Night's Main Event days. He was a mainstay of coming out and all that good stuff. He was one of the first like producers and agents in the early WWF days. All that good stuff. But George Steele was one of a kind. He was a nice man, and he was also like the gimmick, the time.
I'm sad I never got to meet him.
I think that one bothers me.
I think he might have been at the first big event I went to when I met Hogan and the NWO guys. I'm not
okay.
I think he might have been there, but I think like I was at that time I was like tight on the budget, and I don't recall. Like I don't recall if he was there or not. But I feel like if he was, I would have gone out of my way to meet him.
I don't think he's been anywhere that I've ever been convention-wise.
Yeah, because I feel like he's one of those that I would have definitely met. And I also have that WWE turnbuckle from my time, and it has that hole on it that they use for I don't know what, but I would have gotten him to sign the turnbuckle. I feel like he's the
what it has the holes for the ropes to hold it, right?
No, it's like a hole. I don't know if they used it for like for some display or something, where it's like a chunk. I'll send you a picture where it's like a chunk cut out of the corner. But I feel like he would have been the only logical person to have sign my turnbuckle, you know?
No, absolutely not. Even hearing you say that, that makes total sense. Yeah, that's George Steele. That's one of a kind, and it sucks that he was, kind of in pain and sick for so long.
Yeah.
That kind of sucks because, again, from what I always heard, he was a very, very nice man.
Oh yeah, I mean, it came across even like whenever I would see him do interviews, and looked like a sweet man.
Yeah. So all those guys will be sadly missed. And then last but not least, we also unfortunately lost Nicole Bass, who, as of now, died for unforeseen reasons. I know that she was admitted to the hospital, and then it came to a point where, she kind of had like a seizure or something, and then they said there was like nothing they could do for her, right?
Yeah, I think the girlfriend posted on Facebook that, I don't know, I think she was brain dead.
Right.
I mean, and it was weird because I remember like a few weeks ago, wasn't there like there was a post on the big event site where it had Nicole Bass' picture with a group of other wrestlers, but she wasn't listed on the site, but she was in that group of pictures, remember?
I didn't see that.
I think I might have sent it in the group chat where I was like, oh shit, look, Nicole Bass is scheduled to be there, but I mean, it's sad. She seemed like a nice woman from when I first started working at my job. Howard TV was part of our company, so I used to watch a lot of the Howard stuff for my job. So I would see her on the show, and she seemed like a nice woman. Like, they would mess with her, but she seemed to be like a good sport about it. And
okay.
I mean, it seems it's a sad situation. I know she was in ECW for a bit with Lance Storm and Justin Carnival, right?
Which I didn't even know until
I saw
DVDs and stuff.
Yeah, and I saw that Lance posted about her and put up a nice message. And
yeah.
Then in WWE, she was brought in as Sable's bodyguard, right?
As Sable's bodyguard, yeah, she was the opposition for like Tori.
Yeah, it was Tori, the first Tori. Yeah, wasn't it at Mania that she came out?
Yeah, 15.
Was that her debut?
I believe so.
Okay.
15 was her debut. Show's WrestleMania debut. And if I'm not mistaken, she kind of had a love angle with Val Venus after a while too, right?
Yes. I'm surprised they never went with the obvious pair her up against Chyna.
I don't know why. Probably because
because
Chyna had just started working.
Yeah,
and probably because
Nicole Bass was probably knew even less than Chyna did.
Yeah, like I don't think that would have been good.
Nah, I mean, I'm surprised. I mean, just knowing Vince, I'm surprised he didn't go for it just for the spectacle of it, of having two muscular women face off.
Right.
Or at least have a confrontation or a moment or an angle.
And when you think about it, like Chyna and Nicole Bass, that's something that would kind of have more attention now than where women are.
Yeah. But at the time, it would have been like, I think, because when Nicole Bass came in,
it would have been cool for wrestling versus now could have been like multi-platform.
Yeah, like I feel like when Nicole Bass came in, the first comparison was most likely to Chyna. Oh, another muscular woman.
Right.
So, and it's sad that we lost them both within a year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. We did.
Mm-hmm.
We did. I just realized that now. We did lose them both in a year.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just,
do you think, sucks, do you think WWE will acknowledge Bass? I mean,
I don't see why not.
Because, last Monday they gave Chavo the opening graphic, and now this week they're kind of hit with 3 deaths. So it's like, are you going to do one graphic with all of them? Or are you going to just do the Ivan and Steele? Or are you going to give them each separate graphics? Or are you going to give Steele and Ivan videos? Or all of them?
You talk about everybody at once.
Yeah, so it's like, I can't recall a time where there's been 3 deaths in a week leading into a Raw.
Yeah.
So, and then,
I think that is history out of itself.
Of the 3, I think George would get the most attention.
Yeah, George, because the stuff that Chavo and Ivan did wasn't in WWE.
Well, even Chavo didn't really get a video. He just got
Well, he got the
opening
memorial graphic, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
I guess we'll see. I mean, I feel like nowadays they kind of make sure they acknowledge everybody, because I feel like if they don't acknowledge somebody, then the internet's going to complain, and I feel like WWE just doesn't want to hear complaints, so they just go for it, you know?
no, I think WWE just wants to genuinely.
Hmm. I mean, to my knowledge, I don't think there was ever heat with Nicole Bass in the company.
Not that I know of, but you never know, because people
Yeah.
do things outside of wrestling, or when they leave WWE, and WWE looks at them not in a different way, but WWE kind of has that, that boomerang, because there are times like that for no reason WWE will get blamed for somebody's outside of wrestling choice.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, but you can't,
yeah.
like, did she even make a whole year in the company?
I don't believe so.
It
I
feels
think
like she might have
was
just been
there.
around for a few months.
I
Like,
think she was
I
there
just
in the
remember,
split. I'm gonna look that up.
I remember the Val Venus stuff and Sable stuff. Other than that, I really don't remember.
And the Sable stuff, was longer and more prominent.
Yeah. Like, did she even finish out 99 in the company?
Yeah, she couldn't have gone past 2000.
Okay.
Did Howard Stern post anything?
I'm not sure. I haven't seen anything. I'm sure they did.
Well, she started in ECW in the first half of '98.
Okay.
She, sorry, I had to sneeze. I didn't want nobody to hear that on the podcast. She started with them. Then she debuted in '99 at WrestleMania 15 as the bodyguard.
He posted here 16 hours ago, there will never be another like Nicole Bass. Rest in peace. # we speak your name. And he posted a picture of the two of them together.
I don't know what that means.
Does he mean they're like...
Then I remember the Deborah feud.
Okay.
I remember the Deborah feud, and that's when Nicole Bass wore that sparkly bathing suit thing.
Uh-huh.
Then there was a Bass and Ivory. Oh, here we go. Bass left the WWF and filed a lawsuit against the organization for sexual harassment, claiming she was sexually assaulted backstage by Steve Lombardi. In 2003, the case went to court and was ultimately dismissed. Bass continued to wrestle on the independent wrestling circuit and did bookings for personal events and public appearances.
Okay.
Yeah. And then apparently in 2006, Bass was hospitalized due to steroid-influenced pancreatitis. I remember that. Bass married Richard Bob Fuchs in 1985.
85?
Fuchs died in his sleep. 85, it says here.
Okay.
Fuchs died in his sleep in 2013 at 64. Bass was also in a relationship with her business partner, Kristen Marone.
I think that might have been the one that posted.
The girl that,
Yeah.
Yeah, because as Donald Trump says, they were lesbian. So, I don't know if it was Howard Stern status, but that was magically sent. Did it come with a photo?
Yeah. There's a photo of the two of them.
Oh, that's a nice picture of them.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what that "we speak your name" thing was about.
Yeah, I got nothing on that.
I mean, I don't think WWE acknowledged it on their site or on their social media.
Social media, I know that they didn't.
Yeah, so they definitely, because I know they put up pictures for Steele and Ivan and Chavo.
Social media, I know for a fact.
Yeah,
they didn't do anything.
Well, we speak your names here, Nicole.
Yeah, obviously, if you were a fan of the Attitude Era and a diehard wrestling fan, there's no way you couldn't remember Nicole Bass.
Oh yeah, because even when she would pop up on the Howard Stern episodes,
they would bring it up.
Yeah, so.
And remember, I don't know if you remember this. Remember, she was at the House of Hardcore that we were at.
She was?
She was there.
Where?
Well, she was in the audience and visiting.
I didn't see her.
Well, she was mostly upstairs,
Okay.
but she was there that night.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's cool.
Yeah, she was there.
Did you talk to her or interact with her? No.
I did not talk to her or interact with her,
Okay.
but I did see her. I was literally across a room from her. I was at some point next to her.
Okay.
She seemed to know almost everyone, from Rob Feinstein to Tommy to Nunzio to everyone. Van Dam. She seemed extremely nice.
Is this the same show I was at? Because I wasn't at a show with Nunzio or RVD.
What was the main event for the show you were at?
It was Rude and Aries versus the Wolves.
Then no, it was at the next one.
Okay, yeah, I was thinking. I was like, I would have remembered.
It was at the next one because Mike was there.
Okay, yeah, because this was the one that you were
I'm sorry.
collecting
Yes,
the
I
tickets
mixed
for.
it up.
Yeah.
Well, I did that the second one too.
Yeah, and this one had Sabu and Abyss.
Posing. Yeah, she was. She was posing for photos and autographs.
Yeah, because I feel like I would have remembered. Okay.
You know, she not charging or anything like that.
Okay.
You know, she was very nice again, sweet, personable. I can't remember who exactly, but she was staying at somebody's house that night. As a matter of fact, she was in town, and I knew whose house it was, and I'm blanking on who it was.
Is it your house?
No, it wasn't my house. It wasn't my house. I'm not Flo Rida. Yeah, but you know, she seemed sweet. She seemed nice, and it sucks, especially since you know, you pretty much had a brain aneurysm, and
yeah,
there was nothing that could be done. You know, that sucks, man. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a rough week, and our condolences to all the families and loved ones.
Yeah, seriously, that sucks.
Yeah. I really hope 2017 doesn't turn into like the 2016 for wrestlers.
Yeah. Oh, I hope not. I hope it
Because
doesn't.
2016, I mean, 2016 was I think musicians probably took the big grunt of it in 2016, and actors. Because there were there any like big?
It's 50-50.
I mean, but as far as wrestling deaths, were there any big ones?
Not really that I know of.
I think there was Mulligan.
Yeah, Mulligan.
Because I know Dusty and Piper were 2015.
Right, because they were back-to-back years.
And we already had Snuka this year, so that's 5.
That's right. But also, look at all their ages.
Well, yeah, of all, with the exception of Bass, they were all older, and I mean, Chavo wasn't as old as the other ones.
Yeah, but Chavo had cancer, right?
Yeah.
Right, so, you know, Chavo had cancer.
Yeah, I can't think of any big ones from last year.
Oh, well, look at it like this. Chavo had cancer. Snooker was very ill. Steele
Snooker had cancer. I know.
Steele had several medical conditions.
Over the last few weeks, I saw a lot of people posting about Ivan, and he also had cancer.
Oh, okay.
Like, I know Bobby Fulton was posting a lot about it and, like, praying for him. And so I was seeing a few posts coming up for Ivan as well.
Yeah.
So I think, like, with Ivan, Steele, and Snuka, we've known that they've been sick for a while. I mean, I know Vader's been posting that he doesn't have much time left.
Oh, really?
I mean, they told him they told him not too long ago that he had 2 years.
Correct.
That he went on this, like, fuck it, I'm not gonna die stage. Like, I think he has, like, a shirt that says, like, fuck 2 years or something. Let me see if I can find his Twitter.
2 years my ass. It's on Pro Wrestling Tees.
Yeah, so I'm not sure what's going on with Vader. Let me see. Oh, fuck, I just clicked on his page. Where did he go?
I heard he was doing phenomenal. He worked an indie show with a buddy of mine recently.
Yeah. Unless maybe he just wasn't feeling well that day, or... I decided to share my story, not to acquire a pat on the back, but rather to inspire someone to fight their diagnosis. Do not go gently, fight. The doctors can take a flying leap. I plan on staying strong. I mean, maybe he was just emotional because the wrestlers passed, and
Yeah, I mean,
maybe,
when did he post that?
I'm not sure. Oh, I just saw this episode of Boy Meets World when he was on. Let me see. I don't know. I was hearing about it like the day when Steele and Ivan passed.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. Life is a precious gift from God. Don't waste 1 minute. Life is for the living. Stay strong. Okay. Unless maybe he took it down.
Which is possible.
Because I know he's also doing DDP yoga. I don't know. Maybe he was just emotional and blurting out and stuff while he was seeing a bunch of other wrestlers pass. I don't know.
Uh-huh.
But yeah.
Well, yeah. What a week it's been.
Yeah.
What a week it's been. In the wrestling world. Unfortunately, we have to end this on a sad note. Bosch, real quick, if someone, hypothetically speaking, wanted to get a hold of you on social media, how would they go about doing it?
I am the Bosch Man.
That's fantastic. And hypothetically speaking, if somebody wanted to get a hold of us, the For Life Podcast, on social media, how would they go about doing it?
At For Life Podcast. You can follow us there. My Twitter is private for the time being.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll see how that goes.
And also for future reference, if somebody wanted to grab one of those nifty For Life T-shirts, including the Petty 24/7, the highest selling T-shirt right now
of all time.
Of all time on Redbubble.com and For Life. How somebody go about
Did she wear it yesterday?
Yeah, she did.
Oh, nice. I didn't see it. Yeah, nobody posted any pictures.
We really were just too into bowling.
Yeah. No, I get it. It's because I wasn't there. That's why no pictures were taken.
That's pretty much it. That is the exact reason.
But, www.redbubble.com/people/4lifepodcast. That people always throws me off. We have a new legit Bosch shirt up there, thanks to our buddy.
Yes.
Yeah. Also have one coming up soon. Once I get the updated version of it. And nope,
yeah, I got him to work on something for me too.
Oh, nice. Look forward to seeing.
Also, any plugs? Do we have any plugs?
We have the big event coming up March 5th.
That's right. We'll be doing photos and autographs as well. $1 for each, $3 for the combo.
Wait, what? $1 for each, $3 for the combo?
Yeah, if they want photos and autographs, we'll do $1 for each of us.
Mm-hmm.
If they want the two of us, it's $3.
And if you don't smell, it's free.
Actually. If you don't smell and you're attractive, it's free. Or if you buy me that hotel popcorn.
But, I know you guys have a show the night before.
Yeah, Friday, March 3rd at the Morgan Jr. Arena, 67 Hathaway Street, Wallington, New Jersey. Ace for Wrestling presents Destined for Greatness. We have already confirmed Dan Amont versus Kyle the Beast. First time ever. We have first time ever. Arcadia is going to be taking on Anthony Gangone. It's going to be, the challenge has been laid down. Will FNB respond? I don't know. But Adam Payne has challenged Anthony Ramirez to a lumberjack match. Fatal four-way fight for flight contest. It's Mario Boccara. It is Sebastian Cage. It is Ricky Reyes. And it is Mike Donovan in a four-way exhibition fight for flight matchup. In addition to that, you're going to see Monster Mac take on Stockade and the return of Willow to American Championship Entertainment. As she takes on, I believe the young lady's name is Alexa Cotto. So that'll be fun to watch. Again, 67 Hathaway Street, Wallington, New Jersey, just minutes from Times Square.
Awesome.
So that's it. That's what's going on with that. And then the next day we're at the big event, and I don't think we have anything wrestling-wise after big event, right?
I mean, I'm sure there's shows all over.
Yeah,
the
people
area.
are running, but we're not.
Yeah, I'm not going
anywhere.
any other than that.
And I don't think. I think House of Hardcore is doing Jersey and Philly that weekend.
Okay.
Which I don't see myself going to.
No. And usually the big event is usually my goddaughter's birthday. I'm usually running to my goddaughter's birthday after the March big event, so that'll most likely be what happens this year.
well, if the trains keep running the way they ran this weekend, I'm doing the big event and I'm taking my ass home as soon as possible.
Yeah.
So that's how that's working, buddy. Yeah. So it's gonna be quite a time. Friday, March 3rd, you can catch me at least at American Championship Entertainment, and then the next day you can catch us at the big event over there by the LaGuardia Airport, where we'll be doing photos and autographs, $1 for each, 3 for the combo, and if you do not smell, it'll be free. So that'll be quite the interesting turn. Yeah, that's all I got. Any other plugs we got out there? I don't have any.
No, I think that's it.
Yeah. On the John Harder, the Hardway podcast, I want to plug him because he has a very, very beautiful piece about Style and Finesse, Donovan and Rob, and how they won the Mike Morgan Jr. World Cup. It's a great article, so just put that out there.
Cool.
That's all I got.
All right.
Take us there, buddy.
When you're listening to your podcast, you're listening to it for
for
life.